Hey everybody, I'm Mark up here in the wings. Welcome to Mile High Church. Thanks for spending part of your weekend with us, especially if you're new. Our vision, Oneness Revealed, a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. And our mission, to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. Before we get started today, we want to give you a look at a few things coming up for you and your family at Mile High Church. You are cordially invited to Reverend Zamira's ordination ceremony next Sunday evening to celebrate this significant milestone in her spiritual journey. And this year's What I Wish My Parents Knew series starts January 28th after the 10 a.m. service. The topic is neurodiversity to help parents understand their children's unique journey.
Hey, this is Josh Reeves. I'm here to remind you that there is no excuse to do anything other than live your best life in 2024. And I know of no greater way to do that than to engage in spiritual community, and especially by taking a class here at Mile High Church in 2024. They're all designed to enrich your spirituality and help inspire you to live that life. I get to teach our Beyond Limits class, and it's all about moving from those bad habits that we've gotten into to living from a place of intentionality and spiritual practice. Learn how to pray affirmatively, learn how to forgive instead of judge, learn to meditate instead of allowing yourself to become driven crazy by the seemingly wild world that we live in. You have a divine power within you and all around you, and you can use it. Daily practice and through connecting with other human beings who are wanting to do the same thing. I hope you'll join me.
For more information on anything you've heard today, stop by the Event Center or connect with us online at milehighchurch.org. I'm right above you guys. Look up and say hi.
Mark's actually right over here. He's tucked up. Thank you, Mark. Well, thank you all for coming. I just wanted to thank all the congregations and all of the volunteers, all the staff that came here this morning. I know it's cold, but guess what? Jamie Lula is here to warm us all up. So please enjoy Jamie Lula.
Yeah, I brought the weather. Blame it on me. I'm leaving tonight. It's 55 degrees in LA right now. It's like freezing. I'm so grateful that you're all here. Zamira, congratulations. Wish I could be here. That's pretty awesome. I'm so grateful I get to go to so many different sacred communities. I'm grateful for my home community, Agape. And a number of years ago, Michael Beckwith was talking about the infinite nature of a God. And it's like, if God's infinite, no one has the corner on the market. You can't box God's in. So I went home and I wrote this song called God's Box. Don't judge me, I won't judge you. Here to share the love that we're from. These and greater things shall you do. Open up the gift inside. God's box is a circle. God's box got no size. God's box is infinite. Got nothing else inside. We're not right and they're not wrong. Allah, Buddha, and Jesus are one in the same direction. There ain't no competition in God's box. Is a circle. God's box got no size. God's box is infinite. Got nothing else inside.
it's so great to have you here today. And wow, it's so great to have you all here today. I will tell you the truth. I was at home this morning thinking, it might be just me and a few people there today. So thank you. Yay. Some wonderful people. For those of you watching online, I'm sure it's chilly where you are and it's frigidly cold here today, like below zero temperatures. And so to have people in our sanctuary step in and step into the warmth of spiritual community is quite an inspiration. And wherever you are, we hope that you are staying warm and connected. And we're so grateful for your presence here today. I decided that because it's so cold out and kind of dark and gloomy, I would wear the most sparkly clothes I had. So, we'll sparkle today. Be the light. We'll all be the light together. And I want to wish you a happy new year. I have not been here since Christmas Eve, actually. And so it's great to be back. And I haven't had a chance to wish you all a happy new year. So I'm so grateful for each one of us and for this new year that we are stepping into together. And my motto for this year is don't be a bore in 2024. So I'm on it. Welcome back. I'm glad to see you here already. You just got back last night, didn't you? Okay, well, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so we have a beautiful vision and mission here. You probably heard it in the announcements. I like us to say it out loud. I think the power of our word is spectacular, so let's say it together. Please join me for our vision. Oneness revealed. A world of love, peace, and abundance for all. And our mission, to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. What a joy it is to remember these things and to be these things together. And as we step into our service this morning, we're going to move forward in prayer. And I invite you to hold our beloved Reverend Carol Wilkie in prayer. Her brother Kurt passed away yesterday morning. And so we are keeping her and him as he moves on to the next plane of existence and their whole family in our prayers. And Reverend Jackie is going to lead our prayer. We're going to sing together, have a little silence, and then pray together. Let us begin.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings.
And in this silence, we truly acknowledge that God is in this space. God is in each person who is sitting in these seats within this beautiful sanctuary. God is within each person who is watching online. God is within everyone, everywhere, no matter what the appearances may be. What a powerful thing to remember, and what a powerful time to be together in this community that we call Mile High, whether it be here in person or it be online. I know that connection, that beautiful connection of God is right here. And every time we get together, we have an opportunity to feel that oneness, that source, that absolute love of God that cannot be put in a box by anyone. God is far bigger than anything we understand, but we are a part of God. What a powerful feeling to have, knowing that we can reach in and talk to our best friend at any time. And this service gives us an opportunity to get together and hear powerful words and powerful music and great readings and know that all of this comes from the heart of God. And I am so deeply thankful this day for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. for the gift of his life, what he has given to us to be able to carry on into the world so that we can be beneficial presences to everyone and we can make a world that works for everyone. We're so thankful. I'm so thankful that we're together to be able to worship and that there are so many opportunities in this world for people to gather in so many different places and worship the same God. Thank you. So now I can let this prayer go because this is the body of God. And so it is.
I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, and God is here for me. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, and God is here for me. Today I enter in this infinite accord to be a place where the Spirit of the Lord won't go unnoticed. As I sing this song and breathe with every moment, I taste, touch, see, hear, and feel. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, and God is here for me. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, and God is here for me. How can I serve thee? Let me know what I can do that I might be a place of rest and light and you and deep compassion for myself and those who need your loving kindness. Like a jasmine summer breeze, I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, and God is here for me. for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here for me. I love my God. I love yours too. It's all the same. A simple truth. I surrender. I give up my heavy load that I've been lugging, like it was a suitcase full of gold. I'll rearrange that, alchemize my past and pain, distilling moments until I witness all I gained. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here for me. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here for me. I am here for God, and God is here for me. I am here for God, and God is here for me.
Our readings this morning are in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And if you go out in our lobby today, you will see posters out there commemorating the legacy of his leadership, which was a leadership that was so full of heart and so full of vision. He says, each of us lives in two realms, the within and the without. The within of our lives is somehow found in the realm of ends, the without in the realm of means. The within of our lives, the bottom, that realm of spiritual ends expressed in art, literature, morals, and religion, for which at best we live. The without of our lives is that realm of instrumentalities, techniques, mechanisms by which we live. Now, the great temptation of life and the great tragedy of life is that so often we allow the without of our lives to absorb the within of our lives. The great tragedy of life is that too often we allow the means by which we live to outdistance the ends by which we live. And I say to you, I have also decided to stick with love, for I know that love is ultimately the only answer to humankind's problems. And I'm going to talk about it everywhere I go. I know it isn't popular to talk about in some circles today, and I'm not talking about emotional bosh when I talk about love. I'm talking about a strong, demanding love. For I have seen too much hate, and I say to myself that hate is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to love. If you are seeking the highest good, I think you can find it through love. And the beautiful thing is that we aren't moving wrong when we do it, because John was right. God is love. He who hates does not know God. But he who loves has the key that unlocks the door to the meaning of ultimate reality.
Thank you, Martin. I was in a 12-step meeting Hi, my name is Jamie, and you know Raz. And I heard a young woman speak, and she said, you know, in all of the religious teaching and church catechism that I've had in my life, I've never experienced God. And I thought to myself, you know, 30 years ago, I would have felt the same way, having grown up Catholic with God out there. And then I got here and get the luxury and the absolute privilege to go and sing at all these beautiful centers. So I went home after hearing you say that and wrote down the ways, all the smallest ways that I experience God. From a red bud on my favorite rose bush to the smile on a grandmother's face, to the dew on a single blade of grass, I keep seeing in the smallest ways. From the hoot of an old horned owl to the laughter of children at play, to the first whistle passing my son's lips, I keep hearing in the smallest ways. When I pay such close attention, there's no judgment in my life. There's only love in the smallest of ways. In the smallest of ways. From the birth of my only baby to the song that I've sung full of grace, to the loss of a mentor not meant to be mine, I keep feeling in the smallest ways. From the breath of night blooming jasmine to your scent permeating my days, I can call to mind what I can't find. I keep breathing in the smallest ways. When I pay such close attention, there's no judgment in my life. There's only love in the smallest of ways. Come on, y'all. In the smallest of ways. In the smallest ways. Your sweetest kisses to the tear that I stole from your face, and gelato we shared on the boulevard, I keep falling in the smallest ways. When I give in to sweet surrender, and I know that God is in this place, there's only love in the smallest of ways. Come on, y'all. In the smallest of ways, I keep seeing. In the smallest of ways, I keep hearing. In the smallest of ways, I keep feeling. In the smallest of ways, I keep breathing. In the smallest of ways, I keep falling. Here we go. In the smallest of ways.
Yes, Jamie Lula, thank you so much. It's a blessing to have you here with us today. Yes, yes, yes. And let's give thanks for our wonderful band and our music director. Tom Litch is our music director. Yeah, thank you, Tom. And Bijou and Mike and Rob and Kent are here today in the band. Thank you very much, gentlemen. What a joy. What a joy. Before I step into our message for today, I do want to reiterate what you heard in the announcement video about classes. It's a really great time at the beginning of the year to step into a class experience, to do some deepening spiritual growth. And you're going to hear me talk about that today in my message. And so if you need to start with Beyond Limits with Reverend Josh. It's a great place to begin to learn about the basics of our teaching and what it is we believe about here, and really meet some new people and get connected to the community. So start with Beyond Limits. If you want to take some other classes, we've got some in-person, we've got an online class, and I'm personally teaching a class called Powering Your Decisions. And it's all about making better decisions, not just from a standpoint of the logistics of decisions, but mostly from a how can I make decisions about my daily living that are based in my spiritual truth? How do I do that, and how do I have more confidence in myself and confidence in the life that lives in me and as me to power me through my decisions? So it's about creating greater confidence, finding greater purpose, living in a more confident way. And the author of the book we're studying says avoiding failure. And so if this is of interest to you, it starts on Thursday night. And we're so grateful for the Mile High Church Foundation. They have a pillar of giving that supports education, and they've given us a donation that is allowing us to offer all of our classes this term only half price. So it's a great gift. Thank you to the Mile High Church Foundation for that gift. And I just want to say that this is a one-time offer. You know, this is an infomercial. One-time offer for some really great discounts on classes. So if you've been thinking about it, now's the time. You can register out at the event center before you leave today. You can go online and register on our website. We would love to have you join us for a class. And we are in an annual tradition. We have our Back to Basics series, where these 4 Sundays of January, we really focus on the basics of our teaching. Our theme this year is 4 spiritual rites of thriving. And I love this theme, especially that thriving part, because I believe that those who really practice and live from our teachings learn how to thrive in their life no matter what. Whether life is great or life is challenging, or there are things to discover, things to grow through, things to learn about. A person who has these spiritual tools and practices and deepenings in their life can learn to thrive and move through the things that come up for themselves. And so this is a really great time to deepen our understanding of our principles and just keep going deeper. That's the other thing about basics, is no matter how advanced you think you are spiritually, no, there's always things to learn. There's always a deeper place to go. Just like Jamie's song, if God is infinite, it's an infinite presence. You and I have never gotten to the place where we're done with it. So there's always an opportunity for any of us to go deeper. And today, our message is really about the creative process. It's about from without to within, the power within you. It is a cornerstone of our teaching that you heard Reverend Josh talk about last week. The way we define God, the principle, the presence, you've heard it throughout our whole service today, is not just a presence that's out there. Yes, everything we see in the universe represents the infinite, but everything that is seen has come into being through the experience of the divine, through human beings having a consciousness and creating. Through our consciousness is our relationships, our life, the life we create together on this earth. It's all about learning and understanding that principle. And many spiritual teachers have told us this. Most of them have told us this in one way or another. If we go back to the teachings of Buddha says, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. What we think, we become. Does that sound familiar? Jesus, the great master teacher, is fond of saying a number of times throughout the Gospels, it is done unto you as you believe. He said that to different people throughout his ministry, and that was a belief that he had, and it's a belief that we teach from here. It is done to us as we believe. Not as we would like or as we would wish or as we hope it will be, but as we believe. And then our own founder, Ernest Holmes, my favorite quote of his, Reverend Josh told you last week, and I'm going to repeat again, that God can only do for us what it can do through us. Through us. And I like that Ernest Holmes refers to God as it. I have never been very fond of calling God by a pronoun, gender pronoun, he or she. I believe that God is this transcendent presence and that we define it. It moves through us, and our consciousness, which is our whole seat of belief and ideas, individually, collectively, becomes the creative process through which it expresses itself into being. And so we are a place, we are an instrument of the divine, that as it expresses, we give it energy by our beliefs and our ideas and our attitudes and our energy and our convictions. And the very first part of the Science of Mind, our core book that we study of Ernest Holmes, he talks about that thought creates based on your energy, the patterns of repetitiveness, you think it, the convictions you have behind it. And some of us have some pretty strong convictions, don't we? And sometimes our convictions are, life is good and I'm filled with possibility and I'm going for it. And other convictions are, it's horrible. That's just bad. Everywhere you go, it's all falling apart and everybody hates each other. And no matter what your convictions are, you get to experience that because it can only do for us what it can do through us. So if this is true, we spend a lot of time in our teaching really seeking to better understand what really is going on inside of me. Because the biggest challenge, of course, is we think we know. We think we know what we think, and we think we know what we believe. But I just want to ask, has anybody ever had something happened in your life that you go, I don't remember thinking that. I don't remember believing anything about that. So I'm talking today also not about what you and I think we know about ourselves and our life and what we really believe, but what's going on at the deeper level of our being. And the dissonance between what we think we know and what's really going on is what we're seeking to minimize. We're seeking in our spiritual work to bring things together so that there's an aspect of us that can know what it knows that it knows, but can also ferret out what it doesn't know that it knows. And bring that up into the light to be seen and to be danced with and to be healed and to be transformed. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That is what he meant by that. Such that we can then become a different instrument, a more tuned instrument, tuned in a different way, tuned towards good, tuned towards possibility, tuned towards abundance, tuned towards love and joy and all of the things that we say we want to experience, but we are getting in our own way. Because we still have beliefs from the past, ideas from the past, and things that no longer serve us. And so our teaching and our services and our classes and our small groups, it's always about that holy, sacred work. And then below the surface, even of that deeper mind, it's the divine. It's the God in us, as us. It's the essence. It's the soul. It's the presence. It's the beloved. It's who we are at the core. And the more we connect to that and live in that and from that and as that, the happier and more rich our life can be. So how do we do that? Well, our materials this week, and indeed if you go online to our website, there's materials that support every one of our talks. Some of you are in small groups, and so you're encountering the materials there, but the materials are available to be downloaded for anyone who would like them. And in the materials, there's a structure that is very helpful that can be used during this time. We use it in different classes and different experiences called the four stages of consciousness. And in the materials also there's a quote from Ernest Holmes that supports our talk this week. He says the spiritual life never requires that we go without, but that we learn to turn within, and learn by doing so, blessings begin to reveal themselves all around us. And so we can use the work of these 4 stages of consciousness to support us in our journey. The 4 stages is an ancient idea. It's not something that Holmes created. It's been brought forth by many teachers throughout the ages. It's an ancient metaphor that's appeared in almost every spiritual teaching in one form or another. And this concept was popularized in the 20th century by the modern European mystic G.I. Gurdjieff. However, its roots are linked back into one of the most ancient of all the sacred scriptures of the Vedic tradition, the Katha Upanishad. And for those of you who've taken the financial freedom class with me, you might recognize this as the coach to everywhere. When we talked about the coach, right, and the moving through consciousness, and it shows up in so many ways. And so I'm going to use this opportunity to explore the 4 areas of consciousness with not only teaching what they are, but teaching a very personal story of my own development and evolution in one of the most painful stories of my life, in a story that's at the core of my life, and it has to do with my relationship with my father. My father and my mother had me, their firstborn child, when they were teenagers. They were 17, 18, respectively. They were very ill-equipped to be parents, as young teenagers often are. And they both had different issues that played into the challenges they faced. But my father also had parenting that was a lot of anger, some addiction, all sorts of challenges that went on there that I don't even know that I know the full scope of. But what this meant was that my father, being this young man with this brand new baby and this family to take care of, allowed his anger and rage to be what he led with. With my mother physically abusing her, and with me yelling and screaming was the norm, and manipulation and fear tactics. And as we grew older, as I had a brother and a sister, as we grew older, lots of threats. Though he never beat us or hurt us, he would throw full pop cans at us if we weren't doing what he wanted, and flick cigarettes at us and yell and scream at us. And in our life, for me, our family life was often very scary, because I never knew how he was going to behave. And I learned to be psychic because I learned to figure out what kind of mood he was in right away so that I could behave the way that I should be, so that I could avoid the violence if at all possible. And so I spent my young life often being very frozen. I did not know how to express myself. I did not know how to express my emotions as I grew older because I was just so afraid. And I know for those of you who know me and how much I talk, you can hardly believe that's true. Let's just call that a measure of my healing, shall we? And this teaching has been a part of that for sure, because the first kingdom of consciousness, as I came into this teaching as a 15-year-old, and boy was I angry. I was angry at my father. I was angry at life. I was angry at men. I was so angry at men, and figured that every man must be like my father. And so reacted to men in the same way, and had a hard time navigating myself through life. And so I come into this teaching, and they're talking about all these principles that can heal my life. And I was kind of skeptical, but something rang true for me. And that's what kept me here. There was something inside of me that said, yeah, I'm home. I don't even know what this place is. And some of what they're saying sounds a little gibberish to me, but I'm home. And I stuck with it. And I was passionately here and participating in church and began to take classes. And I encountered immediately the first kingdom of consciousness, which is called the to-me kingdom. In the to-me kingdom, people relate to life like everything's happening to me. that people are doing things to me. Life is just chaos and just happens chaotically, and things just happen, and you have no control, and you have no authority over your own life, and you just have to deal with what comes your way, kind of like a tennis player, and the balls are coming, and you're hitting them, and you're doing your best, to stay out of trouble. But it's also a very victim-y place, because it's a feeling of powerlessness. Now, with all of these kingdoms, I do want to say that there are times where there may be one kingdom that kind of resonates with us through our whole life. Like, for example, have you ever known someone who they were experts in this kingdom, victims to the core? Everything that happens to them is all about who did what to them today, who said what to them today, what happened to them today. And then there are times when we move in and out of the kingdoms based on the subject. So like with my relationship with my father, I was totally stuck in to me consciousness, in the negative aspect of that. But in other areas, I could kind of see the light. When I came here, oh, really? But I was stuck in the to me consciousness. So I was in that anger, in that pissosity about my father. He did it to me. He didn't do me right. He didn't raise me right. What was wrong with him? And you know what? All that's totally valid. Totally valid. That's what's so. Those were my feelings. And I came in and recognized it. And that literally was a wake up for me to go, oh, I'm kind of in a place of victimhood. And here's the thing about these kingdoms also. Wherever you are in the kingdom, because the infinite presence is acting through you, guess what you get more of? Right? Wherever you are. So the more you and I are in that negative victim space, the more we get of it, because the law of attraction and the divine presence that is operating in, through, and as us can only operate through us. And if that's the fodder, the storyline we give it, if that's the energy we give it, if that's the belief we give it, yes, you may have more of that. Of course, my beloved. And so the minute we start to wake up and say, well, maybe there could be a different way. And for me, one of the ways that woke me up is that I began to go to classes. I thought, well, I'm going to try those practitioner people. When they come up after church and they're here to pray, I personally think we should slam them. We should be all in lines waiting to be prayed for, because it is the most transformative thing in the world to allow ourselves to be prayed for. It's a wake up. It's a shift in our energy for any area that we want to begin to make this shift. And I began to work with a practitioner, and I began to do my personal work, and I began to go to workshops and went to therapy and went to classes, and I kind of woke up. And as I looked at my life, I went, wait a minute now. I had a younger sister, and my father did the same things to both of us. And when he did what he did, I would, and my sister would basically go at him. And her attitude was sort of like, what an idiot he is. What is wrong with him? It was like, I don't think it kind of fazed her near as much as it did me. And I'm not saying she's right and I'm wrong, but I saw, there was I could have reacted differently. I thought the only choice I had was to be a victim. I thought the only choice I had was to feel horrified and justified and righteous and angry, because that's who I was becoming. I was becoming just like him, because I couldn't let it go. And so I had to move into the next consciousness, the next kingdom of consciousness, which this community lovingly sort of kicked my butt into, was the kingdom of by me. What I do matters. I have responsibility for myself and my life. I can make a difference to myself and others. I could see the trauma and drama I'd experienced it. I could honor it. I could be with it. And you know what? You can't do this. You can't force that. We offer this over and over again so that some moment for any of us who are right now going through trauma, drama, feeling victimized, feeling betrayed, feeling abused, feeling hurt, feeling discounted, disenfranchised, whatever that story is, we offer over and over again the invitation to say, we love you right where you are. It's okay. You belong here. We can be with you. We can have compassion for you. We can love you. And when you are ready, might you consider stepping into a new kingdom of consciousness? What might it take? That's the invitation today. If I understand that life is operating through me and I'm in a certain experience, what might it take for me to move forward in it? Might it take considering my own responsibility for my feelings and my emotions? For feeling them, I had to learn to process them fully, as I did not know how to do as a child. I had to learn to own them fully, as I could not do as a child. I had to claim my voice. I had to claim and own my emotions. And I had to understand that I had a right to choose the life that I wanted to live. And when I made that choice, something began to happen. Something began to shift. My outer relationships began to shift. My beliefs about myself, my confidence began to grow. I began to live a completely different life. And I began to have a completely different relationship with life, with men, with my whole experience. Ernest Holmes says, change your thinking, change your life. That's what he means. When we begin to say, what has to happen for me to heal and let go of my own victim story, we find ourselves owning our story more fully and living from it from a place of empowerment that we couldn't do when we were in the midst of it. But we can do now with hindsight as we look back on it. And it allows us to then move through the next kingdom, which is what the core of our message is today, the through me kingdom, where I recognize that I am an instrument of the creative process. And if I want more good in my life, I've got to own it, claim it, and understand that I can shift my consciousness. I'm participating in that which happens in my life. I can take steps to shift the energy and change the outcome. And this is where my meditation began to deepen. And I began to touch into that deeper aspect of me, that divine presence that is operating through me. And you know what it said? Can you forgive him? Can you pray for him? Can you let go and see him as a divine instrument of God? I went in and out of this kingdom, I will tell you the truth, in and out, until eventually this became the norm. And I began to see my father, every time I talked to him or heard from him, not as that scared, ill-equipped, angry 17-year-old man, but I rather began to see him as the grown-up man he'd become. I still had loving, fierce boundaries with him for myself and for my own son, but I was able to see something different, and that healed me. And then not only that, I was able to see so clearly the amazing, loving men who were in my life and who supported me all the way on my journey, though I was projecting onto them my to-me consciousness. And I began to let them in and feel supported and loved. And some of them are in this very room. Men that made such a difference in just being there for me and showing me love in ways my father wasn't able to do. And I began to feel that and allow that to heal me. And then the last kingdom is the kingdom of as me. I am that which God is. This is the kingdom where I believe Jesus lived from, healed from, spoke from, ministered from. And I admit, not the kingdom yet that I can live from 24/7. I seek to do that as I believe many spiritual seekers do. And it takes inner work, but it is the kingdom that allowed me to sense the deeper elements of my soul that could say, oh, there is something powerful and magnificent that was birthed in me through my relationship with my Father that I would never want to have taken away from me. It's a strength, it's a power, it's a compassion and support for other people. It's the ability to stand with other people no matter what they've gone through, because I've walked through hell myself. And therefore, as I've stepped out of it, I can stand with people in hell who are walking through that stuff. And then I could also discover the aspect of me that I know lives in all of us, that despite what has happened, has never been touched, has never been harmed, has never been hurt. And the more I can live from that, I am that which God is. And I can live from that powerfully. And this is the invitation this week, to live from within. What would it take for me to make these shifts in these various kingdoms of consciousness? What would it take for me to let go and move forward and rise up into this greater aspect of myself? And when I do this, and when others have done this, the peace and the joy and the living of life is dramatically different. If we were the kind of church that offered up testimonies on Sundays, I believe we'd have people up here testifying about the power of the inner presence that is within them, right? Yeah. Because we know it, we've seen it, we've experienced it, we've lived it. And when we learn to do this in any place in our lives, we can do it in every place in our lives. This is the work that is afoot for us. This is what our teaching, our classes, our services are all about. And this is what we invite you to contemplate in this week ahead. I'd like to close from the book that we're reading in my Powering Your Decisions class by Raymond Charles Barker. I'm reading the book to prep for class, and I just loved what he said here. He says, I know hundreds of people who have proven this larger I am consciousness concept to be the turning point in their lives. It reversed their whole basis of making decisions. They ceased their worship of the past. They ceased their fear of the future. They canceled out all fear of death. They decided to be cause in their world because they now realized that they were their world. They were no longer people experiencing life. They were life experiencing itself. They were their own saviors, their own saints. They needed no messiahs, knowing themselves in God, as God. They placed no lesser gods before themselves. This is the power within us. I invite us to pray now, invite our practitioner prayer partners to join me in this prayerful consciousness as we just breathe into it now and allow ourselves to feel our energy sink down into the depths of beingness. Breathing in, through, and from this place of oneness and connectedness. For we recognize that this God presence, this infinite intelligence, this life that exists everywhere, including right where we are, that it is operating in and through and as us. And in this moment, as we feel that inner yes calling us to greater living in different areas of our life or in our life in total, we now operate in and allow this energy that is already flowing through us to have a new channel, a new way of expressing. And we are a part of allowing that and bringing that forth and giving that expression a space in the world. And for every moment we do this, we come into alignment with the greatest truth of who we are. And for every moment that we do this, we become a healing presence on this beautiful earth, in every relationship, in every activity, in every bit of the work that we do here on this beautiful planet. We are that which God is. It is that which we are. We accept this, we know this. And I affirm this week, as we are filled with the awareness of this presence, that it allows us to contemplate and make new decisions for ourselves about different areas of our life. And even if we don't know how to make the change that we seek to experience, I accept and affirm that a willingness rises up in us now to be willing to walk forward anew, in new energy, in new light, in new wholeness. It is inspired in us right now through the power and the presence that is expressing itself fully and completely as us in this moment, that is whispering to us, come forward, my beloved. Let's live life in its fullness now. And so we give thanks for this presence. We give thanks for its light in us. We give thanks for our own consciousness. And we release this prayer into the action of that law that simply makes it so. We let it go. We let it be. And so it is. Amen.
I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here for me. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God. Here for God, and God is here for me. I am here for God, and God is here for me. I am here for God, and God is here for me.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much, Jamie. We are stepping into the time of our service where we give through our tithes and offerings, and we do so by recognizing and celebrating how God, that infinite presence, has been here for us, providing through us resources and opportunities. And so we give thanks for that. And we have a number of people, as you might imagine, watching online today, just over 600 people watching online. So grateful for that. Thank you for being with us. And just a little reminder for some of you watching online, you may not remember how to use the text to give or the online giving. This would be a good time to reacquaint yourself with that, because we welcome your giving into this space too. And our ushers will come forth and pass the baskets, and it's a great opportunity for us to circulate. We do have people watching from Aurora, Arizona, South Dakota, where it's minus 22. Whew. Indiana, Oregon, Hawaii. Cheryl Renee is watching from Hawaii. We love you, Cheryl Renee. So glad you're here. And from Japan, Germany, and Spain. What an opportunity. Great, great, great. So glad to have you all here. So as we prepare to give, I invite us just to get centered and to step into our affirmation together. So please say with me, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is.
I've done my time, I'm so tired, I give up on my simple mind. It's not working, I'm no good, I'm in need. If I only could, come on, Jeremy. Spirit in the house. Come on and sing it right out loud now. Spirit in the house. Lights just stop, I go through. Hold me over, said the man in blue. Son, you know what you done did. I said yes, sir, and a light of red. What's your hurry, why the race? Who are you trying to keep it with? Take your time now, it's alright. Got your answer, you can hide. Come on, Barry. Spirit in the house. Holy, 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 holy. Come on, Tom. Love's alive when you wanna go. Well, I'm on fire. How about you? Can't you feel the spirit guiding you? I'll sing home. Home is where love's alive when you wanna dwell in the spirit. The house. Holy, 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 sing it, spirit. Let's do that one more time again. Spirit in the house. Holy, holy, holy. Spirit in the house. Let's take it home. La, 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 la.
Jamie Lula.
Oh my gosh, can you feel the spirit in the house? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. And you know what? You can take some of that spirit home with you because Jamie is going to be out in the lobby and he has products and he will meet you out there. And if you are here for the first time today, you get extra gold stars. Extra gold stars. We want to welcome you to Mile High Church. And if you want to learn more about Mile High Church, we'll be out in the Welcome Center, and there's some information out there. And speaking of the power of prayer that Dr. Michelle was talking about, the prayer practitioners are coming down front here, and you can join them for some of that prayer. And you can also put a prayer request in out in the lobby, and you can submit one online.
Wonderful. Thank you, Reverend Zamira. We look forward to your ordination next weekend. It'll be wonderful. Yeah, it'll be great. We want you to know that today at 11:30, so I'm not going to be able to greet for a very long time because I'm leading a meeting at 11:30 for anybody who might be interested in ministerial studies here at Mile High Church. We do have a minister's school. I am the dean of the school. And we also have an online master's degree program that you can earn by participating in the school. And you can go and join us on Zoom for an information session. It's brief, about an hour-long information session where we'll tell you all about it. So if you have any call for that, please go to our website and you'll find the Zoom link there. And tonight at 5 o'clock over in the Vote Center, we have our monthly Healing Light service, a great meditation service, a wonderful way to spend time just in the silence and the quiet. It's very nurturing. And we want to remind you that we've got Coot Blackson coming here on Friday, April 26th. We are so excited to be hosting Coot Blackson. He wrote a book called The Magic of Surrender that many of us have been reading. It's kind of going through the congregation like wildfire, and people are reading it and loving it. So we hope that you'll buy a ticket. Early bird tickets will be on sale until the 31st of January. Not only do we ask you to buy a ticket, we have a great marketing team, and they're going all out to market Coot. I know he's kind of new to some of us. We are ambassadors for this event, so if you can tell your friends and your family and spread the word for us about Coot's coming here, we would really appreciate it because we think that he's such a motivational, powerful speaker to support our lives. We want as many people as can be here. And there's an online ticket, too, that you can purchase, so you can tell people from all over the world to join us for that. So if you'll stand now for the benediction and peace song, we appreciate it. We go forth in love and light, feeling the surrender of the awareness of our consciousness of oneness, calling us, guiding us, and leading us along the path. And we are grateful for this truth having its way with us now. Thank you, life. We let it be and let it go, and so it is.